going to do the introduction of psychology, so everyone should pay maximum attention. I hope by the end of this class, everyone will have something to take home. So please, you should mute your mic. Those who are on this platform, you should mute your mic. Please, I beg of you. Somebody has also raised a hand. Who is that? Who has raised a hand? Please. Okay. So we are going to concentrate on what is meant by the introduction to psychology. So we are going to know the definition of what psychology is. So you should pay maximum attention to what I'm going to put across. So what is psychology? We all know, we've all heard what psychology is before. And when I should ask you about what psychology is, most of you will mention psychology is the study of the mind, psychology study or read people's mind, psychologists do a lot of things. But in the nutshell, what will come up is that psychology emphasizes on reading the mind. That is what will come up. But psychology goes beyond that, and we are going to know what psychology is today. When we say psychology, psychology emerged from two Latin words. Psychology emerges from two Latin words, psyche and logos. Psychology emerges from two Latin words, psyche and logos. Psyche means the mind, and logos means the study. Psyche means the mind, and logos means the study. So in the olden days, psychology was classified as the study of the mind because of these two words, psyche and logos. Psyche means the mind, and logos means the study. So in the olden days, or classically, psychology is defined as the study of the mind. That is why a lot of people, when we say psychology, they mention that psychology study the mind. No, psychology goes far beyond that in contemporary society. So this is what psychology is in the olden days. This was what psychology, we used to define psychology in the olden days. Now, in contemporary society, or in this technological age, we've developed a new definition of psychology, and that is our working definition of psychology. Now, when we ask you about what is psychology, psychology is the scientific study of behavior and mental processes. Psychology is the scientific study of behavior and mental processes. That is the definition that we are contextualizing our study with. So right now, if I should ask anyone to define psychology, the person should define psychology as the scientific study of behavior and mental processes. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I hope you can define psychology, and you know the two Latin words that psychology emerges from. Now, I have said psychology is defined as the scientific study of behavior and mental processes. So when we consider this definition, three things can emerge from these definitions. So the first one is that psychology is a science, because we say psychology is the scientific study. So the first thing that should come in mind is that psychology is a science. That is the first thing. And the second thing is behavior. That is psychologists study behavior. And the last one is mental processes. Psychology study mental processes. So there are three concepts that can be derived from this definition. That psychology is a science, that psychology studies mental behavior or mental processes, and that psychology study behavior. These three things. Our concentration mass focus on these three things. So any definition that someone will give when I mention psychology, and that sign does not come in, that behavior does not come in, and mental processes does not come in, it's wrong. So I said psychology is a science. Psychology study behavior. Psychologists focus on mental processes. These three things. So we are considering the first one. What makes psychology a science? What behavior does psychologists study? And what mental processes are we focusing on? So that is what we are going to concentrate on today. So what makes psychology science? That is the first one. Okay. Psychology, what makes psychology a science? Psychology is a science because of two main things. One, because it follows the scientific method. That is the first thing. That is the first thing that makes psychology a science, because it follows the scientific method. Two, because it adopts the goals of science. These two things make psychology a science, because it relies on the scientific method, or it follows the scientific method. And two, it adopts the goals of science. Any question? These two things make psychology a science. It adopts the goals and it relies on the scientific method. Please, any question? Then I hope everyone is okay with me here. Now, let's go. We've said psychology is a science because it relies on the scientific method and because it adopts the goals of science. So what are the scientific method and what are the goals? What are the scientific method that psychologists follow and what are the goals of science? So we are going to the first one. What are the scientific method? Psychology or all science follows scientific method. And when we are summarizing the scientific method, we can say there are four main scientific methods. The methods that science follow, we have four methods. One, they develop hypotheses. Two, they gather data. 3, they analyze the results. And 4, they publish the results. So psychologists, before it can study any behavior, it first develop hypothesis. It gather data, it analyze data or the results and find out about the outcome, and it also publish the results. These 4 formulas, 4 methods are what psychologists follow. That makes it a science. They develop hypotheses, they gather observable data or objective data, they analyze the results, and they publish the results. Now, when we say hypothesis, we have said they develop hypothesis. So what is a hypothesis? Hypothesis is defined as a tentative statement, a predictory statement that establish a relationship between 2 or more variables. A hypothesis is a tentative statement or it's a prediction that establish a relationship between 2 or more variables. Are you with me?
Yes, madam.
Please, I'm not madam. Beatrice, were you the one who said yes, madam? I'm not madam. Or it's Queen?
No,
Queen,
sir.
you said madam, right?
No, sir.
So
No,
who said it?
it's me, it's Addai.
Oh, Fabia, I'm not madam, okay?
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Don't worry. That's just by the day. Amanda, do you understand?
Yes, sir, please, I do.
Okay. Pastor Abraham, please, do you understand?
Yes, please. So, can you, when you started, you mentioned that at first we used to define
Your voice is so low. I can't hear it. When I'm talking to you on the phone, your voice is so low, so I can't hear anything.
Can you hear me now? Hello.
Yes, I'm listening.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes. So you mentioned that at first we used to define psychology as the study of the mind.
Yes.
But other definition that is the study of human nature. Can you maybe say something about it?
I said, everything evolves. Nothing is dynamic, is static in this world. So as time goes on, psychology was developing. And we increase it to these things, to the study of behavior, to the study of mental processes as science. So through development, by evolving, psychology came about as the scientific study of behavior and mental processes. Okay. Any question, please? Any question again? Any question? Okay. So, do you have a question?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. So now let's go to the second formula, the scientific method, the second point. The second point is that, okay, let's go to the first one, they develop a hypothesis. And I have said, in hypothesis, we compare two things. For example, if I say males perform or will perform better than females in mathematics, this is a prediction. It's a prediction, and I am predicting that males will perform better than females. So I am now going to gather data and find out if indeed males perform better than females. And of course, psychologists have explanation as to why males will perform better than females. This is because we have two types. The mind, the human mind, is classified into two. We have the left hemisphere and then we have the right hemisphere. The left hemisphere is responsible for mathematical activities, and the right hemisphere is responsible for English or vocabs. So if I say males will perform better in mathematics than females, it's because the left hemisphere, which is responsible for mathematical activities, males possesses left hemisphere, larger left hemisphere than females, and that is why males perform better than females in mathematics. And of course, when we consider the right hemisphere, research have indicated that females have dominancy in the left hemisphere, the right hemisphere. And the right hemisphere is responsible for English or vocabs. And that is why females are better in vocabs than males. But in the nutshell, males possess larger amount of the brain or the mind compared to females. That's what scientifically proven. So that is why, or that explains the disparity between males and females in their form of academic performance. But you should know that when we say males, we don't mean all males, but to a larger proportion. Because everything we have plus or minus 5. We commit error. The error is plus or minus 5. So in anything, everything holds when we take account the plus or minus 5. Now, let's quickly go to the second one. The second one is to gather data. Gather data. As we are aware, after we have formulated the hypothesis, we need to gather data. We need to go to the field by using either interview guide or questionnaires to gather data. That is the second point, the second scientific method. They gather data. Then we have to analyze the data, the third point. We have to analyze the data to find out if indeed males perform better than females. We have to analyze it using statistical techniques. Then we go to the last point. Last point is we need to publish the results. No scientist should do research and hide the results and put the results in his room. He needs to publish the results in a reputable journal, either in a journal or in